Good evening and welcome to the fifth, or is it the sixth Masked Cricketer? We've been going now for a month and a half. It's been great fun. Thank you goes to Joe today for my outfit. And I have to say, I am sweating already. It is quite heavy. But thank you for the loan of this equipment. And yeah, I keep dressing up each week. Why? I keep asking myself, why have I subjected you and me to all this? Anyway, hopefully it's a bit of fun. And yeah, thank you again, Joe, for that. Just an intro. I mean, great last week. We had a few problems with technology, but Paul Humphreys stepping in at the last minute and giving us a lot of insight into the village knockout and actually the final at Lord's on the day that Princess Diana died was a really good piece of information. And it was, I think there was a lot of poignant things said and very interesting about how village clubs have come on and played in that village knockout over the last 30 years, and Oxfordshire being a force within it. So thank you again to Paul Humphreys last week for stepping in, and I thought he was awesome. And we had 350 views on that last week. So thank you again for watching and tuning in afterwards, whatever. But it was superb. So we do thank you for doing that. And hopefully we get a few more this week as well. I want to say the Just Giving page, I've put again down scrolling at the bottom of the screen, is back up and running. I've got Sarah to check it this morning and it seemed to be working fine. So if you do it from your phone, you will see the chances of the two charities being Oxfordshire Mind and the Lord Taverners. So you can click on that link and donate accordingly. A couple of things to mention. The Virtual Fest by Aston Rowan Cricket Club, I believe, raised over £6,000. Half of that went to the Ruth Strauss Foundation and half to Aston Rowan Cricket Club. But if you saw the interview with Andrew Strauss, it was quality. He came across really well, said a lot of good things. And yeah, I think it was quite an enjoyable evening. And well done to Aston Rowan for doing that and also getting that amount in. So fair play. I think it was pretty awesome. The other thing I wanted to mention is still Friday night, the internet's most amateur quiz with Dave Freeman. Freebs he's been doing really well on that and has raised a lot of money for local charities and also Great Chew Cricket Club. So brilliant work from Freebs there. Well done indeed. I do want to make reference, he may come on here later, Ian Bryan's Tales from the Potting Shed. I've laughed at least once since the 8 episodes have come out. So good on you, Bri. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching your tales there. And also, Kieran will just probably come in on here on Saturday Sports Show. Kieran, can you just give us a bit of background of what might be happening on Saturday Sports this week?
Yeah, so on Saturday Sport this week, we will once again be talking with Oxford City Football Club. They have their goal of the season competition ongoing at the moment. The Saturday show is courtesy of Oxford City Football Club, and they very kindly have let their broadcast channel go out for the use for us for the foreseeable future. So that allows us to talk all things sport, not just cricket, but obviously football with Oxford City. The goal of the season, there's some really good goals from Oxford City FC that you can go and visit on their website and have a look at the goals that have been nominated for their goal of the season. Some of them wouldn't be out of place in the Football League, to be honest. There's some really good strikes on there. And anybody can go and vote for those, whether you have supported Oxford City or not. You can go and have a look at them, vote away until, I think, Friday, and then that will be announced on Saturday. So we'll be talking all things Oxford City. We'll obviously be talking cricket again. There'll be plenty of cricket chat. More rumours this week, potentially, that we might get some cricket later in the year. And as we look out on this beautiful sunny evening, once again, it's almost unbelievable, isn't it, that we've had no cricket this year, and it's been the best start to a summer for many a year. I know that Neil Pickup thinks that the rain gods have cursed him, because it would have been, of course, the Ellendon Trophy festival this week for Oxfordshire had it been going on, which is a brilliant festival for junior cricketers, play all over the county. Every year it's blighted by rain pretty much since it started, and then typically this year it's been clear blue skies. So yeah, a bit disappointing that we can't have that this year, but yeah, there'll be plenty to talk about. There'll be more about virtual sports, esports with Carla Buckingham, Wes Spearman, who is well known around these parts for Oxfordshire cricket, youth cricket. He came through the ranks. He is also going to be talking about cricket as well. And I dare say there'll be more football chat as well with Colin Ride from Radio Cherwell. So yeah, please tune in on Saturday at 4 o'clock. It's also available on Listen Again the following week on Radio Cherwell. But if you tune in via the Oxford City FC link, so go to oxfordcityfc.co.uk, click on the link for live commentary at 4 o'clock every Saturday, and it's a sports show with the eminent professional of Darryl Woods and then me, just sort of for good measure as well. I'm sorry, Darryl, it's really hard to sort of focus on things today with you looking like Biggles across between.
Don't worry, there are bandits at 2 and 3 o'clock, I think, but I'm all right. There's no shells coming down at me at the moment, but they might be later. There's a couple of hellos. Definitely, Mervyn Ramsey, nice to see you. Hello, and yes, please do get in contact. We'll perhaps privately message on that and get a few lined up if we can, because that would be absolutely fantastic if we can. So one or two people, Bingo, nice to see you. H. Smith, good to see you. John Finch, hope you're still recovering well. And Megas is still working, Wardy, if you are missing him. So that's right. Anne-Marie, nice to see you. Hope the family is well. And my sister-in-law has called you Kdog, so you've probably been adopted to the family, Kieran, there. So well done for that. So without further ado, I'm making sure my masked cricketer is now masked, and he's coming on board, or she's coming on board, or they're coming on board. Let's have a look. Have we got the person live? We have. Oh. There is a question straight away. Have you ever played at Great Chew? I wonder who that's come from, Kieran. I don't know.
Wouldn't have a clue.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He has played at Great Chew. Okay. How are you a Cherwell League cricketer? Oh, yes. Is that a current Cherwell League cricketer? Oh, no. Okay. Not a current Cherwell. Somebody who's played in the Cherwell before, but not yet. Okay. That's interesting. Right. Are you a bowler? Oh, no. Okay. Interesting. He's not sure. He's just not sure, this masked cricketer this week. I got to ask you, have you played in the OCA? There's a lot of heavy breathers in the OCA, so I just thought he might... Sorry, they've tuned out again, Kieran. Sorry. Terrible. Not an OCA cricketer. Okay. Is there any other questions coming in from your end, Kieran?
It looks like this person's saying, oh, yes, to being an OCA cricketer, by the way, but just might be worth asking that one again. Or has he played OCA cricket? There you go.
Might well have done. Might well have done. We might come back to that. Good stuff. Ward, yeah, go on. Sorry, Kieran.
No, Ward, this isn't related to the masked cricketer, but Ward has just asked, have I bought a new webcam? Oh, yes. Yes, I have.
Yes, you do look a little bit clearer and sounding a little bit clearer this week, Kieran, to be fair. So that's all good. So we've worked out not a bowler, probably wants to be a bowler.
Yeah.
Um,
Joe Harris has come on. Hi, Joe. He is asking, this will narrow it down a little bit. Are you over 35 years old? I think they're talking about there.
oh yes. So we could have a senior citizen here, possibly. Who knows? Right. Okay. You haven't got your bus pass yet, Mars Cricketer. Is that what you're saying? Hasn't got his bus pass yet. Okay. Good stuff. Nice to see you, Anna. Nice to see you, Becca. Hope you're well. Hope everything in Bristol's going good. Have you had representative cricket? Or have you played representative cricket? Oh, yes. Okay. Go on, Kieran.
Have you played for Banbury Cricket Club at any stage in your career?
No. Yeah. Right. That's good. Chris Goodman, happy birthday either for yesterday or today. Don't know which it was, but hope you had a good day. Have you played then for Oxfordshire? Oh, yes. Are you still playing for Oxfordshire? No. Okay. This is good. Do you like cricket teas?
Everybody does, don't they?
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Good stuff.
We're up to 25 viewers, Darryl, which is good. Individual viewers, which is good stuff.
Yeah, going up each time, actually. They're just tuning in to see how silly I look each week, to be honest, Kieran. That's
probably a fair comment, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever played? We get this question regularly, but I'll ask it. Have you ever played feeder league or home counties Premier League? So Division 2 or the Premier League Division 1 home counties?
No. Have you ever played for North Oxford? No. Okay. Are you a groundsman? Oh, yes. And no. So I'm guessing you may well have been a groundsman at some point. Okay. So whether that... I'll ask the question, are you a groundsman now at this moment in time? No. Okay. So somebody who has dabbled before, but not at the moment. I think we had this question last week, and I think it was from Leslie. Are you an opening batsman? Yes and no. So I'm guessing you may have opened at some point, but may not be opening at the moment. Am I correct in saying that? Yes. Okay. This is good. I think it's getting people thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Becca. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I've surpassed it this week, I think. So be interesting, worth watching. See what I come up with next week. To be fair, just to reiterate, the Just Giving page at the bottom, scrolling across for Oxfordshire Mind and the Lord Taverners. If you can go on to that Just Giving page, do it from your phone, then you can choose which charity to donate to, and that would be great if you could do that. It'd be fantastic. Have we got any other questions coming in, Kieran?
I've got a question. So have you or do you currently play cricket in Oxfordshire? Well, obviously not currently because there's no cricket going on, but
no.
Have you ever played club cricket in Oxfordshire? Yes. Okay.
I've got one in here. Have you played for Hawley? Yes, has played for Hawley. Interesting. Leslie Pikett's asked, are you female? South of the county. I think we've decided perhaps you don't play in the south of the county, but I'll ask the question anyway.
He hasn't, John.
No, he hasn't played in the south, or hasn't played.
Oxfordshire's finest umpire, I can say that because Don Brooks isn't online. John Finch wants to know, has John Finch ever given you out?
This won't narrow it down, actually, will it? To be fair.
No, it won't. Oh, he hasn't.
Oh, no. Finchy, what are you doing? You're letting yourself down, mate. Oh, I don't know. What's going on?
Right. Good question from Freebs. Have you ever played at Lord's?
Yes. Interesting. This is good. Like it. Nice to see you, Riv. Simon Davies asked, are you Harry Smith? No, he's not Harry Smith.
I think a few people might have thought that because we've had Joe Harris asking, can you bowl with both hands? Which I think Harry Smith could.
Yeah.
So I'll ask anyway, can you bowl with both hands? No. And the other one, was your dad a Hook Norton legend? So we can ask this now because it's obviously not who they think it was.
Not a Hook Norton legend. Oh, I think we got him stumped this week, Kieran. I think we have.
Yeah. I'm going to throw one in there just to try and not give a clue, but to try and sort of get some questions in there. Have you ever played professionally?
Oh, guys, we've got a professional cricketer on our hands here. This is exciting. Does that narrow it down?
Have you ever played for England at any level?
Not only a professional, somebody has played England at some level. It is difficult this week, Dick. Pleasing, really pleasing.
It's keeping everybody online though. We're still at around 30, which is good.
Do you play hockey, masked cricketer? No. I don't think anybody asked whether you are a right-handed batsman. Are you a right-handed batsman? Yes, he is a right-handed batsman. Nice to see you, Ben. Andy, nice to see you. Hope all's well there. Any other questions coming in, Kieran? Nice to see you, Andy Billings.
Let's have a look. Okay. Have you played? So you've been a professional cricketer. Have you played any first-class cricket?
Have you played in a Choose President's 11? President's Day, sorry. Yes, he has played in a Choose President's Day. Okay, narrowing it down. Did you play professionally for Middlesex? No. Did you play for Gloucestershire? Kieran, do you want to ask the magic question?
Well, there's one more question that's come in first. I've got two questions, actually. The first one is from Wardy. Did you ever score 100 against Oxford Cavaliers, if you can remember back that far?
No. I think that's a no.
That looks like a no. Have you ever smashed a journalist's car headlight with a 6 at Henley-on-Thames? Okay, we have a guess, and I will refer. There's a couple of guesses for this, actually. There is one. Are you Jack Taylor? Is the first guess. Okay, and we've had 3 people that have guessed this, so I will ask this one. Are you, by any chance, the legendary Rob Cunliffe?
There it is, Rob.
Yeah. I'm glad he said yes there, Darryl.
Take your helmet off. I can't. So, hi, Rob. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
He's very red.
So would you be in there?
Yes.
How are you all?
How are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm all right now. Lost a bit of weight.
In the last 10 minutes, yeah.
Jesus Christ, that was
We did have those guesses coming through. We did hold it out a little bit longer than perhaps we would normally, but
that's very, very kind of you.
Really, really good. They took a while to guess you, which was good. I'm just going to say a couple of other hellos. Hayley, nice to see you. Hope you're well. AJ, hope you're okay. Hope you're cycling everywhere. And thanks, Dick. Yeah, he is a bit of a legend. And apparently you did score 100 against Oxford Cavaliers. He was at the other end, apparently. But,
did I?
Yeah, apparently so.
I can't remember.
It was a moment. It was a moment that Dave Ward remembers because he was batting with a legend. You wouldn't remember batting with Dave Ward clearly because who would?
Where was
really?
that? Where was that played?
We don't. Oh, he'll probably tell us. He'll probably tell us. Rob,
Humphries is still trying to guess who it is. He said, "Are you Lee Sharp?"
Really good. Rob, I'll ask the question first of all. How's lockdown been for you? What's it been like?
Oh, it's been quite tough. I've got a little 4-year-old. I know I don't look old enough. So he's been obviously off school. My wife is currently working from home, so Muggins here is daddy daycare. So unfortunately, I have not been able to work for 10 weeks. So subsequently, it's all a little bit of a struggle at the moment. But fingers crossed, he's back on Monday to school, so I can get out and about now and start trying to get myself back together again.
Brilliant. Kieran, are you going to start the ball rolling? I've got a few.
Yeah, no, Rob, it's really good to see you again, mate. I obviously remember spending quite a bit of time with you when you were smashing cricket balls everywhere, standing in front of bowling machines, getting the ball pinged at you at 80 miles an hour. It's a pleasure to see you again. Just wanted to ask Rob, really. Obviously, you're sort of not in the county now. You've obviously got quite a history with Oxfordshire in terms of played some youth cricket as well and some minor counties for Oxfordshire. Are you still playing cricket? When obviously not at the moment, but are you still representing a club anywhere, or are you sort of getting past the retirement age for that now?
No, not quite yet. I'm not quite Woods' age yet. So I'm currently playing for a club called Brislington. We're in like the Weppel 2. But yeah, I'm captain there now, and still enjoying it. However, I am finding it quite difficult on a Sunday morning now. I'm sort of getting closer to 50 than I'm 40. So, it's the great thing about playing there at the moment is the average age is 22, and that's with me in it. So it just shows how the club want to move in the right direction. So.
And obviously, you did a lot of coaching with us over the years, but I think you do still do some coaching, don't you? You're coaching over in Gloucestershire, or you have been, and you've been involved with some of the schools over there, haven't you?
Yeah, I was working at Dean Close in Cheltenham for about 10 years, which was unbelievable. But I think after the death of my father, it made me realise that doing 70, 80 hours a week, and the most important thing is your family. And so I felt that I owed it to the wife and little one just to spend a bit more time at home and be a dad, really. So, but I still coach. I do a few clubs around the Bristol area. Obviously, Brislington is sort of out towards Bath, so I've got a bit of work there. So, but yeah, it's just great. I absolutely love coaching, and just passing on all what I've been lucky enough to have done and played with and for and people like that. So I just I don't take it for granted. It was hard work, but you've got to think about the people that helped you and pushed you in the right direction to get you where you wanted to be.
Yeah, my first recollection of you, Rob, I said it in jest just at the end of those questions. I was a little bit naive back in the late 90s. I think it was, as I said, down at Henley-on-Thames. I was covering a game of cricket for what was Thames Valley FM, and I parked my little Fiat Panda right behind the bowler's arm, my first car, and I was live on the air talking about this opening batsman's hitting the ball to all parts, and you hit this ball straight. And as it went over the bowler's head over the sight screen, I heard this sort of smash, and I live on there. I said, "Oh, and he's just hit a six. He's smashed a car. I don't know whose car it is, but he smashed a car." And didn't think any more of it. At the end of the game, I went round afterwards and had a drink at the Breakspear ground, lovely ground there. Went back to my car, and obviously it was my car that you'd actually hit. It reminds me a little bit of there's a really good YouTube video on doing the rounds with Ian Smith, who was commentating on a T20 game, and the ball hit out of the ground, went straight through his car windscreen, and something that I remember. And I always remember from you, obviously, you're an opening batsman of quite good prowess, and somebody that was a really clean striker of the ball, but you backed your ability from ball one, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. And it's something now when I'm coaching that I try to encourage them to hit the ball, but hit it in a controlled manner, not just wanting to slog it or whatever. I mean, technically, yes, I would have thought I was pretty sound technique wise. That was thanks to the old man for hours and hours of throwing the ball at me and letting the dog fetch it and just grooving. I remember people like Phil Densham, which a lot of the guys will know, obviously, and people like that, Mick Cannon, just giving me some basic techniques, a piece of string through the cricket ball and hitting it straight. And that's what I did for hours and hours and hours. And like I say, I'd like to say I was a good timer with the ball. Yeah, I wasn't a big whacker, and just tried to look elegant-ish. It's all different now, though, I can assure you.
Did you think that you had? Did you think from the start that you had a natural talent, or were you sort of a cricketer that had to really work at it? Could you get some that have a natural talent for the ball, a good eye for the ball, and you get some players that have got a bit of talent, they really have to work at it? Which sort of category do you think you fall into?
I think
it's a tough question, isn't it?
I think I was very lucky. I was very lucky because of Oxfordshire. And obviously, when playing for the 20 club, I had some good coaches there, going through Oxfordshire, and I think I was lucky. I felt like I was a good player, and I remember once when I was about 10, I think it was, playing in the indoor league at Blackbird Leeds, and I got a bit cocky, and Mr. Jeff Hawkins gave me the biggest roasting ever. Rightly so, and I think that really helped me. That actually made me realise that you went too big for the game, and it put me on a sort of even keel then, really.
That's interesting. There's a couple of really good questions coming in, Rob, and I sort of want to just go back to coaching in Oxfordshire, because I always remember we coached down at Brooks there, and if we were demoing a forward defensive, that would be boring Woodsy to show them, and if we were playing an attacking shot, it was Rob that was going to do the demo on that. And I always remember you demoing there's two recollections, good stories. And the first one was just hitting the ball. And I remember the sound of the ball hitting your back just reverberating round Brooks. It felt like 10 minutes because you'd hit it with such, not power, but just caress and timing. It was absolutely brilliant. And you couldn't have got a better demo for the kids. So that's one memory. And I also, the funny memory is racking up the bowling machine for you to take a catch and nearly taking your head off.
Oh yeah.
We still do that now to the players. It's one of our favourite little drills that we do, to be honest.
So I apologise for that now, Rob, but it was funny at the time.
They were great days, and again, I think these youngsters really need to appreciate what Oxfordshire are doing, done and doing, because the quality of the coaching, not just when I was there, but the people you were bringing in, the enthusiasm to the kids, and equally then the kids, how good they brought into everything that Oxfordshire was giving them. So, I think all round, these kids are not spoiled, but they're so lucky.
Again, a lot of coaching, aren't they? It is good. It is good. Sorry, Kieran, carry on.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just going to say, just talking about your career for a little while. So obviously, you played for Gloucestershire. You had a first class career. You also early in your career had some representative honours for England, didn't you? For England's sort of youth teams, younger teams. Just talk us through a bit of that. Exactly, when it was, and who you played against, and maybe who the sort of the best person that you played against and for.
Well, the first obviously when I was 18 was probably the most amazing year of my career. Firstly was getting player of the season for the Cherwell League at 18, which I felt quite proud about. Secondly, was getting the contract for Gloucestershire, and then seeing the old man, because I don't know whether a lot of your people listening know my old man, but he was a bit of an armchair critic, and I remember a couple of games. I can't remember. I think it might have been at the Cage. I think I hit 155, and I got home or back to 20 club, and he went, "Well done." He said, "I hear you played a real crap shot on 64 and 120." I was like, "Oh, cheers, Dad." And then, but to see him when I was collecting the award, to see him sat in the corner crying his eyes out meant quite a lot. And then obviously the third thing was getting selected for the under-19 tour to India. With people like Michael Vaughan, Glenn Chappell, Dowman, people like that, of which we drew the series, which was an amazing experience. I mean, that was my first ever time abroad as well, and to do 7 weeks out there was just exceptional. I loved every second of it. Done very well in the test matches, but not so well in the one-day internationals. But we did. This was my first experience of playing up the big grounds. We played at Eden Gardens. And it was just wow. And you're thinking, you can get used to this. Yeah, you can get used to this. And then the home series against the West Indies. Now, there was one player, which I'm sure everybody will know, who just bored the pants off us. Funny left-handed batsman. Proper bat. Seriously good bat. His temperament was just phenomenal. He hit double 100 against us at Trent Bridge. He got 100 at Old Trafford. Mr. Chanderpaul, and it was just great to watch. And we were trying to abuse him, and not badly, but just come on, man, you're boring, and all this sort of, and it didn't faze him whatsoever. And I just think that just shows the focus that you need to become a successful international player.
I mean, Chanderpaul's a really good example of a player that sometimes we were talking last week about how certain techniques you don't coach them. I mean, Chanderpaul's technique as a batsman, it's not something that you would see in a coaching manual, but for him it worked, and he become one of the greatest West Indian Test batsmen of the modern era, hasn't he? With that technique that he had.
Yeah, I think when it comes to coaching, though, we've all done enough coaching now that if a lad's hitting the ball well or a lady's hitting the ball really well, why change it? Why change it? If it's working for them, you work with them. You don't try and change them. Just because you're labelled as a coach, don't try and change them, because I think it'd be quite detrimental to their techniques and their success on a Saturday, or obviously youth cricket, etc., etc. I see a lot of people trying to change techniques when there's no real need to. They just got to work with what's put in front of them.
I'll come in on that, actually, because I had a lad today that is only 12, and you've got to take into account that he is only 12, and his hand-eye and his hands through the ball was exceptional. He was hitting the ball with immense power and timing.
Yeah.
Technique, no, there wasn't any technique. I just let him carry on. He got a little bit upset halfway through the session, where he was thinking he wanted to do things better, if you like, or more a technical position or whatever. I said, don't worry at this moment in time. I am not worried at all. Just keep hitting that ball as sweetly as you are. And it was good to watch. I
think at the end of the day, especially a young lad of that age, it's all about results, isn't it? They want to score runs, they want to hit fours, they want to hit sixes and things like that. So don't change them. Personally, I don't think, unless there's something drastically wrong with their hands or it's causing them a few issues, then maybe a little tweak here and there is something like that. But whenever I coach now, it doesn't matter how old or how young, I always say to the kids, if you don't understand what I'm saying, please don't think because I'm your coach that you've got to do everything I say. If you don't like it, talk to me, because I'm here for you, okay, just to help you. And that's the main thing that, in my eyes, is that they can feel nice and relaxed, have a little chat with you.
Yeah, it's the coach-player relationship. You're building that relationship. So, when you need to say something that is possibly quite critical for their development, they're going to listen to you, but it's building that relationship, which is really important. I want to go on, Rob, because the brilliant on those tours for England. Am I right in thinking one was Kdog because you broke a finger or a thumb? Did you, or am I thinking wrong there? Have I got that wrong?
Not for the England stuff. I was, the only thing I did injure was my hand, but I was reserve keeper and I was practicing as I normally do. But I didn't miss any games or nothing out there. So cool. No, that might have been at the Cheltenham Festival, and I decided to dive over the boundary boards and break my thumb in 2 places. But that's just me being stupid, isn't it? Really.
I'll bring that up, actually. Cheltenham Festival. What was that like to play in? Actually,
amazing, absolutely amazing. It was such a great atmosphere. I mean, back years ago, the wicket used to be rapid, and everybody and anybody wanted to field at short leg because while she was steaming in and getting around people's throats. But equally, the quicker, and it's a very true wicket, you could hit through the line of it. You might have to get a few hits here and there, which I can vouch for. But it was just amazing, the atmosphere on a beautiful sunny day, like Kieran said. Today, picture at Cheltenham Festival would just be amazing.
Superb.
So we just got to hope and pray that we can get some cricket, and I'll probably get down there. I think there's a past players' day down there as well, which is always quite a good one.
Yeah, I do know one of Oxfordshire's own, Darryl, Christian Brain's obviously one of the groundsmen at Cheltenham, and he keeps putting these fantastic images of how it's looking there at the moment, and it's just looking an absolute picture. And I've been to the Cheltenham Festival to watch a couple of times, and you're right, the atmosphere it's different, isn't it? It's a different atmosphere at that than it is at any sort of other first class ground, because it's a real sort of close knit atmosphere, but professional cricket, isn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's brilliant. All the marquees up, and it was one of the places where all the players wanted to get into that squad, ready to play. The 2 weeks or the 15 days or wherever it was at the festival. So, but yeah, it's brilliant.
Rob, I'm going to come on to the success that I think was 99, 2000, 2001. Come on to that in a moment. You played with some really great players, actually, some real legends at Gloucestershire. Mervin's actually asked, have you got any stories about Bally or Boo Boo? So we might come on to that in a moment, so you can have a little think about that. But who was, I mean, you had Jack Russell there, didn't you? You had Courtney Walsh. There was one or two others. Who was a real standout for you, and who was a really good guy to have in the dressing room?
I think it goes without saying, Walshy was just unbelievable. I remember one game. I can't remember who it was against, but they only wanted like, I don't know, 4 or 5 to win off a couple of balls, and it just shows that it doesn't matter who you're representing, whether it's the West Indies or whatever. He wore his heart on his sleeve, and anyway, they end up getting them, and Walshy had his head in his towel and never pulled his towel over his head for about 2 hours. He was devastated. So for me, he's one of them, without fail. Jack Russell, it's people like that you look up to. I remember I'm being 17, 18 and driving down there, and you're meeting people like that who you're just in awe of, because you've seen all on the TV and things like that. But and obviously then Ian Harvey, people like that. But
yeah,
I think one of the funniest ones he is an amazing bloke, Virender Sehwag. When I left Gloucestershire and went to Leicestershire, he had just got off the aeroplane about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We were playing a National League game against Yorkshire, and anyway, Devon Malcolm was in the nets, and I don't know whether when you've been at the nets at Leicester at Race Road, they are beautiful. And anyway, Virender walked into bat, and Devon's running in. And he just played normally a couple of little drives and a couple of little cuts and whatever. And then all of a sudden he started sweeping Devon Malcolm. And we're stood down the other end and we're like, bloody hell, who's that? And Devon was like, what does he think he's doing, man? And he got quicker and quicker and quicker. And anyway, he kept flicking him and doing whatever he did. And we're just like, oh my God. Anyway, he got a quick fire 10, 15 off about 4 balls. He got bowled off stump round his legs. That was his first game for Leicestershire, but he was an absolute legend, honestly. He was funny as.
I bet. Just great experience playing with those players, isn't it? Superb.
I just feel privileged. I feel, I'm only a little lad from, well, I'm not little anymore, but I'm a little lad from Banbury who slept, ate, drank cricket, and I was down at 20 club from the age of 6. To be mixing with those sort of people and playing against some of the best, I just feel incredibly proud and really honoured that I've represented Oxfordshire and also represented Gloucestershire.
That's brilliant.
Rob, time to just big you up a little bit here, because I've sort of got to know you over a few years, and I think you're quite a modest person actually. But we've had a couple of comments. One comment saying that this person thinks, I would probably concur from what I've seen, one of Oxfordshire's most talented players ever, which I think would be a nice comment.
Very kind.
Paul Humphreys, I don't think he's asking for a name check, he says, but he wants to know. So you've talked about who you played with for Gloucestershire and those legends ago. I'm not suggesting for a minute that Paul Humphreys is quite on Courtney Walsh's level, but Humps wants to know, back in your Chow League days, who's the best Chow League bowler that you ever faced? If it isn't Paul Humphreys, of course.
Well, obviously, I'm going to have to say Humps now, aren't I? But
no, you definitely don't have to say Humps.
People like David Hale. I remember facing him, and he was just horrible. A couple of the press deals. Stuart Laudat, there's a name. Yeah. What a talent he was. He should have been playing professional cricket 100 times before me, because he was naturally talented and just a gifted all-rounder and an athlete. But I remember having a game against him actually, and I was having a little bit of a purple patch, and I think Graham Savian was playing as well, and Mike Wedderburn and people like that. And I turned up a bit late because I'd just been dropped from the first team. So I phoned the 20 club up and said, look, please, if I can get a game, I'd love to come down and play. But if I can't, please don't leave anybody out just for me. because I don't think it's fair. People have, worked all week and they want to play on their Saturday, and there's muggins here just playing pretty much every day. Anyway, I got a phone call on the Friday. Said, meet us at Pressdeal, blah, blah, blah. And I think I had to go into training in the morning, drove straight down there. And I think they got about 240. And when it's your day, because the first ball you just pick up, and it happened to be off Stewie, because normally Stewie, I used to grow big fluffy ears and a big fluffy tail, because as soon as he came on, that was it. That was me gone. But I put him out for 6, and then we ended up winning the game. It was a great game of cricket, and proper cricket as well. The Savings, the Lordats. I can't remember because it's quite a long time ago now, but it was great cricket.
I mean, you've just mentioned some real Oxford, what I would class as real Oxfordshire legends. I mean, it's fair to say, Rob, isn't it, that for a relatively small county, this county does produce, or has done over the years, some seriously good cricketers, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. Again, that boils down to what Oxfordshire give to the children, or give to the lads. The time and the effort, and then the lads get the rewards, because it's not all about talented. I think if you're seen to be doing the right things, you're seen to be training right, you're seen to be your punctuality is good, and you do everything in the right manner, then that goes a real long way.
If you've got if you were sort of to give one piece of advice, because we're talking quite a lot about young cricketers coming through and they're in a good county to progress, if you've got a piece of advice that you could give to any aspiring young cricketer, maybe 13, 14, that wants to try and become professional, what would your one piece of advice be that you would give to an up-and-coming youngster?
I just think listen to what the coaches are saying, take on board what you need, work on your fitness, because I think now everything is about fitness. That's the way it's gone. It will go in. And I must say, some of the pros, I go to Gloucestershire now every now and then, because my young lad works up there, and they're all super fit. They're super fit, and I'm a firm believer in. Back in '99, when JB turned up, John Bracewell, we, as a fitness group, we were a little bit lazy, I think. Well, I know we were, because you used to turn up to Cheltenham for pre-season, you'd run around the race course, and that was it. And then JB turned up, saw out the first season, and said, right then, lads, I've booked us all a place in the gym with a personal trainer. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30, start. It is optional, but it'd be great if you can go. And then, but I'm a firm believer in, if you're physically fit, you're mentally fit. A lot sharper in everything you do, your decision making. And it's definitely helped us in '99 with all our fielding. People off the ball were working just as hard as people attacking the ball. So, yeah, I think as a whole, practice well, listen, do the right things, work on your fitness, and most of all, enjoy it.
Would you say, sorry, Darryl, would you say what one thing, that a piece of advice that I heard from somebody else the other day is particularly with sort of county youngsters, they come through the ranks and they maybe have different coaches. Would you say it's a good thing or a bad thing to sort of almost take the snippets from each coach that works for you, rather than just having one mindset? So, for example, if Darryl gives a piece of advice that maybe doesn't quite work, but somebody else tweaks that, it's a balancing act, isn't it? I guess to get what's right for you as an individual.
I think the main thing there really is down to the player. I think as much advice, however small or however big it is, I mean, ideally it'd be nice to have a few minors and not any majors. But I think if the player can accept the coaching ideas, and as you said, just take a little couple of bits out of it. I've worked with a few very, very talented 18, 19-year-olds that were being told to do certain things, and they come up to me in tears. And I said, now listen, as a young man, I said, I'm an old git now. I said, but as a young man, what you need to learn to do is nod your head and take what he's saying, what you need. don't try and change the whole lot, because it will affect your mind, and your mind's a powerful thing when cricket's a very difficult game if something's not quite right up there. That's coming from experience
a
as
lot
well.
of a lot of people do say, don't they, that a large percentage of cricket is in the head, isn't it? It's not all about the talent. It's about what's in there and what's in there, isn't it?
Yeah, your mental approach. I mean, that was probably one of my downfalls, if I'm honest. Latter part, well, I think it was pretty much early on, when my mum fell quite ill. She was rushed into John Radcliffe. It affected me. From being fit and well to lying in intensive care and things like that, and it just really got to me. And I remember playing every day up in Bristol and finishing the game, running off the pitch and driving down to Oxford just to see her. Now, mentally, that's not a great pre-match sort of scenario. However, I always considered you only get one family, and it did take me a year. It did take me a year or two to turn my head around, and when I did turn it around, there were some really good points, and there was a couple of blips I had, but I think everyone's going to go through that over a course of 9 or 10 years. So,
and that's actually really poignant in the current climate, isn't it? Because everybody's desperate to get back onto a cricket field. We all are, even me, and I'm not particularly good, never have been, but I'm desperate, as we all are, to get back out there. But the most important thing, isn't it, is if we're not healthy, then there's no cricket, essentially, is there?
Exactly.
So I guess
exactly
that's the key message, really. One of your former teammates, Andy Cross, has just said he had the privilege of playing youth cricket with you at the 20 clubs. Best player I've ever played with, and also a decent footballer, apparently.
Oh yeah, I used to love me football. To be fair, I used to love me football. Playing with Crossy and Mark Coleman and Paul Prentice and people like that, back from the old Banbury school days. But yeah, we had a really good side at the 20 club at youth level. So Stephen Hart, a lot of people know Steve. We were good. We were a good outfit.
Somebody said
still
you're
going strong.
But just thank Crossy for me, because that's very kind of him, tell him.
He's listening in, so he'll hear that. We've got a decent amount of listeners still, so that's really good. So, sorry, Darryl.
You a decent golfer?
Nah. I can give it a good whack, but my father-in-law was trying to get me to join a club, because he plays off two, and he's outstanding. But when we were away with the family in Portugal, we went to a driving range up there, and he said to me, "You got to take it seriously." But I said, "Well, I can't do cricket and football. I can't do cricket and golf, because it's not fair on the family." So cricket is at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rob, was it always cricket? Was it always cricket that was your sort of first passion in terms of? I mean, presumably you were growing up. You had sort of your irons in all sorts of different fires. But was it always cricket that was your first love, or was it sort of other sports?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, when I was, I think 6, I think Dad took me down the 20 club, and I don't know, I seemed to really click with it. And then I did start playing quite a lot of football, and I was pretty good. But I had a trial for, I think it was Oxford United, funny enough, over in Burford, and I just didn't want to go. So I think cricket was always going to be my dedication, really. That's what I wanted to do, was become a pro, and that was it. So, and again, thanks to Dad, he put a lot of time and effort into me, ferrying me around, things like that. So little things like that you all take for granted. And
Rob, I was going to ask you, who was your inspiration? What was it, your dad? Was it the main inspiration for you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think my idol, if I'm honest, and still now to this day, was Phil Densham, because I thought his temperament was amazing as a batter. And then you look at the likes of Arnie, Sean Joyner. Those were some blooming characters, they two. I can tell you now. seeing them on the pitch, I remember one particular game, it got quite ugly. but not between us and them. It was between Sean and Arnie. But that's what you want as an opening bowler, isn't it? You want a little bit of oomph,
bit of fire.
Didn't want to be taken off, and Sean was taken off and didn't agree with Arnie's decision. But
you alluded there, Rob, about your when Gloucestershire were winning one-day trophies, that the fielding contributed massively to that, didn't it? Because you were fit and you were probably the best fielding side in that competition around that time, and it really showed. It put a lot of pressure on the opposition. But was there anything else that you did, or John Bracewell brought to the table that really worked for you in those winning heydays, if you like?
I think Martin Ball actually summed it all up really well. He said that when we were fielding, it was 11 against 2. And as I said, people off the ball were doing as much work as people on the ball. And I think we made Mark's job pretty easy because nobody was being shouted at to move position or whatever. We all seemed to know our roles. And, we just literally bang, bang, bang in position. Again, boils down to fitness. And then, like you said, a few of the closer games, we managed to be on the winning side. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. Excuse me one second. I'm just going to put my earphones in because my little one's just gone to bed and he's been a bit of a pain. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course it is.
I hope I don't log off now.
You could do.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry. He's waiting for me. Apparently, so that's fine.
I mean, there's some really nice comments coming in, Rob. I mean, not surprising. Dick Giles says this has been a real life session from you as a cricketer. You're very level-headed, and you're a really good role model. I would agree with that. Actually, getting to know you over those few years, the players did listen to you, and they were sort of around you, really like being around a honeypot, trying to sort of listen to your experience. And what I've always liked about you is you were very good at sort of spotting what we call development areas, but not calling them weaknesses to these youngsters. They're not weaknesses. They're areas that people can develop in. And it was always something that you used to say. You used to call it a development area. And I think that's really important for any youngster to sort of just realise that you're not going to be able to produce every shot in the book. You play to your strengths, don't you?
Exactly right. Yeah, 100%. I don't work on negatives. I don't work on negatives at all. I've had a few kids crying and stuff, and I can't do this. No, you can. You can. Just give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. And the main thing is put a smile on your face. You're giving up your hour to be with me. Let's enjoy it.
We've got to love it, haven't we?
You have to. I mean, there's a young lad. Years back, bless him. He's playing now for Bedminster, actually. Matty Brewer, his name is. He's probably come against Oxfordshire quite a few times. Good little player. Anyway, he had a little bit of a problem on his legs, and I said to his dad, it might be a bit painful. And he was like, that's all right. He's all right. Anyway, I must have hit the poor kid, not hard, 10, 15 times on his leg, and he, for the first time ever, his little lip went. And I said to him, look, it doesn't matter. You'll trust me. I've learnt from this because I did it for Oxfordshire. I got hit about 60 times on my leg at 65 mile an hour, 75 mile an hour swinging in, hit me on the same spot. And basically my thigh pad and my knee just all met. And fair play to this young lad. He was, 14, 13 at the time. He phoned me up the next day. He said, I want another session just to prove you wrong. And straight away you think, you've got some guts, mind. So, but it is all about encouragement. Like I say, it's encouragement to get to the highest level that anybody can get to. Like I said, I was extremely lucky to be in the right place at the right time. But again, having the right people behind me, supporting me, and pushing me to the right people to get to where I was.
Actually, Rob, I'm just thinking about this because somebody asked the question. You did do an overseas, like you didn't go overseas as an amateur, did you? Am I right in saying that?
I went over as their pro.
Right. Oh, you did do that. Where did you go? Did you go to Australia or?
Yeah, I was in Melbourne. I was
Ah,
young.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
Did that make you a better cricketer? Do you think?
I think it was good for me to spend 6 months away. My first, don't get me wrong, I was blooming nervous. Although I was in India for 7 weeks, 6 months to me was just a massive, because I wouldn't say I was a little mummy's boy, but I enjoyed family time. You know, I used to work with mum and everything like that, so it was nice during the winter just to go home and spend quality time with them, and you know, still doing the right things. But I think it did me good. It did me good. I mean, it was an amazing experience, and I remember my first game was at a place called Donvale, and it was an absolute road. And you imagine it was like 35, 40 degrees, and it was white. And anyway, they batted first, I think, because it's, you know, where you bat one weekend and then obviously field the next. And they got about 230, 240. And a few of the lads were like, oh, mate, there's a few too many runs there, isn't there? How are we going to get them? And I was like, Jesus Christ, I said, it's 2.4 runs and over, for God's sake, it's a road. And following, we went out to bat, and there was this bloke there, and he had a skinhead, and he had tattoos everywhere with Love 8 down his hands and whatever, swallows around his necks. And his run-up was about from the 30-yard circle. I thought, oh, Christ, here we go. Welcome to Australia. So took a little step back and whatever. He comes steaming in. Very good athlete, to be fair to him. And it just popped out of his hand. A little dinky in-swinger at about 45 mile an hour. And I blocked it. And obviously I can't swear because this is like a family show. But you can imagine the response from an Australian. It was a nice, solid front foot, pushed hard, straight to mid-off. And he come down, he said, you pommy, bah, bah, bah. Yes. So that was my first ball. And then when I got to 188 not out, and we were on 300 and something, they were still abusing me, which I thought, right, this is going to be a long winter. But it was great. It was great. You know, Paul Collingwood was out there, Danny Law, Chapman. There were some good players from overseas. But it was tough. It was tough cricket.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really good. So, you know, you learned a lot from that experience, which, when did you get your first class contract? What age were you?
I was 18.
18,
yeah. Yeah, not too long ago, mate.
No.
28, yeah.
Well, you say that. Dick Giles has just said, Darryl, is he available for the seniors yet? I think he's only about 2 years older than me, so I think he's a few years away from that, isn't he?
I'm 47.
I know you look a lot older than me, Rob, but there's only 2 years between us.
When are you taking your costume off, anyway?
Hey.
Kieran's taking it off already, I think. Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Rob,
47 this year.
I mean, just brilliant. Have you got any stories about Boo Boo or Bally? Somebody has asked whether Martin Ball was the best slipper in your or on the circuit at the time.
Oh yeah, he had hands like buckets. Yeah. He was. I mean, he was just great to have on the side. He was the sort of the driving force of banter. And then I haven't really got any stories on him, but he was just great to have in the side. Great bowler and an amazing slip fielder. And Boo Boo, I mean, you've played against Boo Boo, just a legend, absolute legend. He's just the nicest guy you want to meet. He's kind, he's thoughtful, and he's a very good coach as well. But he's just so cool. Do you know what I mean? He's just so relaxed, especially when we were in that first final. If I had a bat with him, I think I'd have been a nervous wreck. But he was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, he's crittering England over 50s actually. Or he was in the World Cup, wasn't he? And
that's right.
Sailed, but I mean, I've played against him only once actually now, but we got him cheaply actually, which was good. We were quite pleased, but he scored a lot of runs in that competition, and it's great playing against those players. Absolutely,
he's great. Yeah, he's a top bloke as well.
Rob, we talk about losing the plot and being stressed. Your number one fan, Humps, has just said that you're as relaxed tonight as you were at the crease, apparently. So it must be being in the presence of Darryl makes you relax, just calms you down.
Apparently, my missus keeps saying to me, I'm really laid back, but see, I don't see it. But maybe I am. I don't know.
I think you are.
Really?
Darryl, I'm going to ask the question that you normally ask because we might forget otherwise when we're getting gone past an hour. Rob, we've asked this every week. It's not a cricket related question. If you had a choice of a superpower, what would your superpower be?
A mind reader.
That's a good one.
Mind reader. Yeah, I'd be a mind reader. See where I'm going, and also I can get lottery numbers then, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Something quite handy, especially at this time.
Definitely.
I'm going to ask a question, Rob. Your winning medals, are they pride and place, or are they in a bank deposit, or are they? I shouldn't ask this, should I? But I mean, are they sort of on display or not?
Yeah, they're up. They're up in my son's room. Actually, my eldest son. I've got a picture of the winning moment with all the trophies there. Yeah. No, I still look at the little DVD as well. It still gives me goosebumps. But I found something here, Woodsy, which I think you might be quite. We were talking about it, I believe. I might have to turn my phone round now. Okay, so
technical for you, Rob. Yes, in cracking, yeah.
Did I write that? No.
How many runs did you say you thought you got?
Did I score more than you?
No.
Oh no! I was flying through my back teeth the other day. Then I get a lot less than you.
Not a lot less. I think it was 39 you got, and I got 53.
So that was off of
it was a boring 39, wasn't it?
What was that?
Scores, I think.
I bet it was a boring 39, was it?
Well, it don't matter. We won. That's what matters, isn't it?
I will add. We had this conversation the other day, Rob, didn't we? And I said I always remember you were 15 at the time on that debut and batting with you. And I went down the crease.
It says I was 16 actually.
Was it 16? Was it?
Yeah, I must. Yeah.
Okay. And I came down to the wicket to have a chat with you to give impart my wisdom. And then I got halfway thinking, well, he's a far better player than me. Why the hell am I coming down here giving anything? Because you were in control pretty much. So, and I remember that it's a fond memory for me. That obviously I did think I got more than you, but I would, wouldn't I?
That's the lie now. You see, it was quite bizarre that I found this. I can't even know what I was looking for, and it's something to do with the India trip. Somebody asked me a question about the India trip. Anyway, I found this out, which is what this is what Dad'd done over my career.
Oh, lovely.
And turned over and I found that page and I thought, my goodness, we were just talking about
that. Brilliant.
So, yeah.
I was found out, Rob, and I apologize for ever thinking I got more runs than you. Terrible. Look, we're nearly done, Rob, but I wanted to say a big thank you for you to take your time to do this for us tonight. You're a great chap to have played cricket with, coached with, and know. And like people have said, great role model. And saying what you did about Oxfordshire cricket today and how people, young people can go about it is brilliant, because this is what this sort of, platform is for. I want people to have, get that experience from people to see what they can do and if they put mind to it, Again, I suppose one question I really wanted to finish on is, have you got any sort of more aspirations in cricket, or you think you've done what you can do, or is there more to Rob Cunliffe's cricket coming forward?
Let's just wait and see how the body is. I mean, I'd like to represent over 50s at some point, but let's just wait and see.
The camera there.
I've got 3 years. So yeah, But we'll have to wait.
Can I have first dibs on that, Rob?
Beg your pardon?
Can I have first dibs on that, or will Gloucestershire stamp their authority and ask you to play for them?
I don't know, actually, to be honest. I don't know how that works, to be fair.
Whoever buys him the first drink, maybe. Mark Elaine or you.
That'll be me.
Don't hold your breath. He doesn't open his wallet very often, Woodsy. So it'll be Mark Elaine one for you.
Well, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. It just depends on how the body is, really, and you know, obviously I've got a little 5-year-old next month. He's growing up quickly, so a lot depends on that and how little one is, and if the wife's happy for me to keep going out during the summer. But obviously this year's been slightly different, so she's had me painting everything. So I've painted pretty much the whole of the house. So she's kept me on my toes.
Another reason to get this lockdown over, so you haven't got to do any more housework and DIY and stuff.
Like I say, I'm pretty much done now. I'm pretty much done. So, but it should be back. I should be back to work on Monday, hopefully. So, with little man going back to school, so I can get out and about then and start earning some money. Really,
it's like that, isn't it? I must say, I have been coaching this week, and it feels like an old friend, Rob, to get back out there and coach.
I can't wait.
You know,
I can't wait. I had one session on Sunday, and it was just, it's brilliant just to be out giving the kids some advice and whatever. So, but I think I got one. Yeah, I got one tomorrow, and then, but things now, because obviously the lockdown's sort of easing slightly, because I have been involved with a few clubs locally. They're going to put me down as their one-to-one and things like that. So, fingers crossed, there'll be a lot more coming in pretty soon. But you just got to be, sort of observant of the fact that potentially there's going to be no cricket, so you don't want people wasting their money being coached when they're not even going to play. But again, saying that, it's their little let out, isn't it, that they want to get out there and hit balls and feel good about themselves again. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'll be busy in the next sort of week or so.
Brilliant. I'm really pleased for you. Kieran, do you want to ask anything before we, if I wrap up one or two things?
Just a couple of things. I keep forgetting whether it's your niece or your sister-in-law or sister, but Leslie's just put a message on there. Leslie, your family member has just said, if anybody had told me I'd have been watching my brother-in-law Darryl with a comical moustache on a TV in February, I would have told them that they've lost their marbles. So I must admit, it's not what I was expecting to do in the middle of May. Rob, no, from me, I just wanted to say thank you for giving me time, and just for a couple of you that hung on last week when Darryl forgot to turn the live feed off. Yes, last week the Hulk was Rob Cunliffe. I said, hello, Rob, when we thought it had gone off, but thankfully nobody noticed. We got away with that one, Darryl. Rob, from me, thank you. It's been a real pleasure catching up with you. Shame we can't catch up over a real pint, but a virtual pint was good. Hopefully when this is all over and we're back, maybe we can sort of catch up properly. And it'd be really good.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Thank you.
Please stay there for a while, Rob, because I'll have a little chat after we end the broadcast. But again, big thank you from me. Yes, Leslie, absolutely. I never thought I'd be doing this, but I've had an absolute ball. I've really enjoyed the last 6 weeks being an idiot and dressing up and having the guys and gals that we've had on been absolutely superb. I've enjoyed every single second of it. Actually, it's been good fun, and I hope that's come across on Facebook Live. So really, just to finish off, thanks again to Rob, thanks to Kieran, and also please, if you feel that you've had a bit of entertainment tonight, please go on that link, do it on your phone, justgiving.com/team/the Masked Cricketer Show, and donate either to Oxfordshire Mind or the Lord Taverners. And that leaves me next week. I have to say, we've got a cracker. We have got a cracker. We've had a good one this week, but we got another cracker next week. So please join us.
I don't know who it is next week either. So that'll be interesting.
Join us Wednesday at 7:00. And obviously, for the time being, everyone, please keep safe, especially as lockdown is reducing quite drastically over the next couple of weeks. So keep safe, and bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.